Hello everyone, welcome to the BFME II, replay number 34. Today we'll be looking at a replay, as you might imagine. And I think we'll do this 4-player free-for-all as Dwarves on Buckland. That sounds reasonable. So, we will do this, and hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know any of these games beforehand. So here we have Destroyer as the Dwarves here in the top right. Top left we have Anom 81st Anom, whatever, as Goblins. In the top left. Bottom left we have Longcon once again as Isengard, and bottom right we also have another Isengard as who is US Ta Yoda. I'll just call him Yoda because that's a lot of stuff. So I'm opening with a Dwarven Barracks here, probably a hero coming, I would imagine. And I'm scrolling again instead of clicking. As a habit I need to get out of. Spider Pit from the Goblins here. Spider Pit is what I would build. There's a golem right there. I think Spider Pit is probably the best choice for an opening thing for a 4K game, as this is what this is. We have a Gloin here from myself, and alerts from him, Yoda. Probably alerts coming out from this guy too. No, maybe not. He is opting for a Sharku with Warg Riders. That is an interesting choice. I like that. Longcon does things differently. As you may have seen if you watch a lot of my games, he does things no one else does, like Mama Kill rushes and such. So it's usually interesting to play with him. I'm going pretty standard here. Glowing in some Dwarves. Can't go wrong with that, really. Fortunately, this alerts has taken all the gold and the levels from this thing, and he is now level 3. And he also has a lot of extra money. He's going to be getting early upgrades. That will be pretty good for him. I've managed to get my Glowing to level 3, and I will get the gold from the white layer as well. Sharku, struggling to kill this cave troll lair. Sharku is actually pretty underused as a hero, to be perfectly honest. He's not bad. He has the ability to boost the cavalry around him, and leadership to cavalry more or less. Maneater kills target enemy, which restores his health, and Temporary gains him 50% damage and armor, so that's pretty good. And then Tame the Beast, target wargs or warg riders come under Sharku's control. That's kind of useless unless you're fighting an Isengard, because you're obviously not going to use that otherwise. But Maneater, I believe, can be used on buildings as well, if I recall correctly. He's very good at destroying buildings. Seems my Gloin has went a little too far. And looks like I misclicked my my slam onto Gorkill instead of the Spider Riders. Hopefully I make it to this Pikeman Brigade here. Looks like I will. He does not want to engage, but his Gorkill is in the middle of a bunch of guys, which I potentially could take advantage of. Nope. He will get away. Let's see what's going on down here. Lots of wargs, 3 battalions of wargs, and a Sharku coming in to this Isengard's base. He's trying to get his upgrades very early. Also getting a siege works, which is interesting. Warg Riders already do pretty good damage, but with Sharku around, he already has the leadership thing. So they will be doing massive amounts of damage. He could probably take the fort if he wanted, which it looks like he might be going for. We'll see how this turns out. Especially when they use their howl themselves, War Chant. Oh yeah, that thing will be going down pretty quick. Not all of the wargs are attacking this, so it would be doing a lot better if he was properly positioned. But he's pretty well positioned here. He's got guys up here, guys down here, and he's also hitting this and this, so it's not that bad. He will be taking this fort. There's nothing Isengard here can do to stop him. Even if Longcon loses his wargs, he's still pretty much... He's won this fight here. It's going to be hard for this Isengard to come back from this. And he managed to save a lot of his wargs. So good job to Longcon on that one. Meanwhile, I am being assaulted by Goblin Spider Riders, which can be quite annoying as the Dwarves. Your best bet to counteract that is keeping your pikemen in your tunnels. Looks like I tried to save my builder, but I didn't manage to get in there in time. That is unfortunate for me. But meanwhile, I am attacking his base. It looks like it's going quite well, in fact. I've destroyed a... not sure what that it was, but I think that was a goblin cave, maybe a tunnel. And a goblin or a spider pit in the front, I believe. Also, my Gloin is level 4, so he does have Shake Foundation, which is quite destructive against buildings. Also, he can't build builders or heroes. Although I don't think he'll be building any heroes anyway. Gloin against Gorekill. Gloin will win. Gloin is a beast. As you can see, he is dominating Gorekill. Not much chance there. And with some reinforcements, I might be able to kill off this goblin up here. Let's see what's going on down here. Longcon is actually taking a beating here. His fortress is in a lot of trouble. And it might be going down here if he's unlucky. I don't think he'll be able to stop these guys. There's a lot of guys all around here. And they do have Forge Blade upgrades. Oh, it's going to be really close. But I think he's going to manage to take it. He has just enough amount of guys to kill off his fort. I say that, but he actually saves it. You could sneeze on this fortress and it would fall down. He's very lucky. And that's really bad for this guy because this guy, that was kind of his all-in. He doesn't have much now. And odds are he won't be able to get anyone over here to finish off his fortress. So that really sucks for him. And the goblins have been pushed back for the time being. He does still have some spider riders, and he still has the ability to produce troops. He can build spider riders and goblins. But I am starting to get pretty strong here. So I can go for battle wagons as well as a King Dane. And I got a Men of Dale on my battle wagon, which is very good against spider riders. The archer upgrade does a lot of damage. Takes 2 shots to kill a spider rider, so it's not too bad. In straight up melee combat without the banner or the Men of Dale thing, it's not as good. A battle wagon against spider riders, but with that upgrade, you could actually kite them because I don't think they can catch a battle wagon. They might be the same speed, so you could potentially kite them and kill them as you just run around. Also, battle wagon's very good for killing off these little shits here. So I do have a good force to kill this goblin. Well, hopefully, for Longcon's sake, this fortress will start rebuilding itself soon. Because otherwise he's going to be in trouble. This guy does have his upgrades, but I don't think it's going to matter. Because Longcon has... wow, he has a lot of crossbows. 4 battalions of crossbows and alerts. Alerts alone could probably take this battalion, this army. This Warg Rider is going to die very quickly, though. But War Chanted crossbow should make short work of all these guys. Even with their heavy armor. There's just so many arrows coming. And it looks like I tried some sort of attack. And then pulled back a little bit. Probably because I don't like fighting under cave bats. As you might imagine. Cave bats are quite a nuisance. Lowering my attack and defense. Or maybe it's possible that I saw there was a bigger threat, which there might be. Longcon is getting a bit big for his britches, I feel. I don't know where he's hoping to go. Oh, it looks like he's trying to get the builders. There we go. Those builders would be dispatched quite quickly. I'm surprised he did not see that builder. He was literally right next to it. But I don't think with 4 teams still alive, 3 enemy teams still alive, that this builder will make it too far. There's not too many places to build. that he could actually live. Except for the center, but the center isn't really a safe place, as you might imagine. Somebody eventually is going to go for that outpost. Probably me. I like to go for the outpost. We do have some trolls coming out from the goblins. Trolls could be a problem for me. Potentially. And let's watch this battle wagon completely obliterate my own battle wagon. That was a poor play on my part. Firing my oil cask right on top of my battle wagon and doing it again. Wow, I'm dumb. Well, I probably should have clicked somewhere else on the screen so people didn't see that, because that was awful. I don't know. Wow. Anyway, pretending that didn't happen, I could have ran the battle wagons through the guys, or launched the thing not on my guys, and that would have been great. So I did kind of screw that up a bit. Ooh, battle wagons against this would be really, really nasty. Looks like my battle wagon did find the builder of the purple as well. So that's both purple's builders dead, I believe. That was the one he tried to run to the middle. So if he loses his siege works and his orc pit, he is out of the game. And it looks like he is quitting because he is basically out of the game. So he destroyed his structures himself and is now defeated, leaving me, the dwarves, the goblins, and the Isengard from the bottom left. And his fortress is rebuilding. That's good for him. I shouldn't have too much trouble taking out this goblin team. He doesn't have much in the way of defense. Not much at all, in fact. If I use my battle wagons correctly, this will be completely one-sided. There you go. That's how you use a battle wagon. A little better. But it is taking a lot of arrow fire from the towers. Unfortunately, he does have the fire arrow upgrade as well, so it's going to be hard to attack this with an army that won't die quickly unless I get a siege weapon or a siege weapon. That would be useful right there. And this guy, Long Con, his force is looking okay. He's got a lot of defense from battle wagons with 4 battalions of pikemen there. So if I do attack him with battle wagons, it won't do much good. Unless I just use the oil cask, oil barrel. Oil cask is actually the dwarf fortress upgrade, not the battle wagon. But never mind that. He is massing trolls. Trolls, he could potentially kill my fort with this, assuming he gets through my army. So that would be very bad for me. I'm probably going to need more pikemen and potentially Gimli. I may need to just kill him off before he sends those trolls in, because that would be bad for me, I think. If you've ever encountered the cave troll rush, it's pretty destructive and hard to stop as well. Cave trolls are very resilient and very powerful. So, I hope that doesn't happen to me and my fortress, my sweet, sweet fortress. I'd like to keep it alive. I am making a big forward base here. Not big, but and then I got a barracks, a tunnel, all the works. So that is good news. Hopefully I attack him soon, or somebody moves in soon. Looks like the ward pits were destroyed earlier, and he's working on getting him back, and as well as getting his upgrades. He's probably going for fire arrows, since he has so many crossbowmen. That would make sense. Also capturing the signal fire. Somebody should really take this outpost from him. Not allow him to just completely hog all the resources himself. Surprising that no one has built in this guy's area. Usually when someone dies... Oh, looks like I went with a wall here. This is a no-rules game, by the way, in case you were wondering. So I'm allowed to build walls here. Any game I play that has long con in it generally is going to be a no-rules game. So there's that to keep in mind. Because on GameRanger, people don't like when you build walls or towers or etc. There's a tower there as well. But I can do whatever I please here. And hopefully what I please is sending my army in. I would love to see the catapult just hit the fort. Looks like the goblins are deciding to initiate the fight. This is good. If I can keep that catapult alive, things will be going quite well for me. Fortunately, cave bats are kind of a problem here. My battle wagon is quite hurt. But I did get a good oil barrel, yes, on the goblins there. Ah, crap. He's got half-troll marauders now. Half-troll marauders are pretty strong, but his little goblin warriors, even though he upgraded them with armor. Look at that, nice armor, nice golden armor on an evil team. I never understood that concept. Apparently that got fixed in a mod or something. They give I think it's the Dane mod, which I will be taking a look at soon, so keep an eye out for that, but I won't talk about that. I am losing my fortress here. It looks like the cave troll ambush was a success for him, so that's really unfortunate for me. I do lose my fortress and probably some other structures I didn't want to lose. Hopefully I don't lose my builder at least. I do have some pikemen here with upgraded spears though. That's good news. That will help to get rid of these cave trolls. So I'm going to take a lot of damage here. But I do still have an army. And once the goblins trolls are dealt with, I won't have much to deal with after that. There's some wildmen, but those aren't very strong. They will do a lot of damage, killing my structures. Assuming I don't run my builder into them. Like, guardians can take wildmen pretty well. Especially if I use this charge attack, which I should be doing. I use the charge attack a lot nowadays. This is an older game, so I probably didn't think about it, as I usually didn't. And the trolls are dealt with. Managed to save a mine shaft there, which is good. Don't want to lose all my things. And fortunately, Longcon is playing very passively. Just building a defense here, actually. So that's good for me, actually, if you think about it. I shouldn't use the word actually so many times in a row. But, yeah. Once these wildmen are gone, I'll probably counterattack the goblins. And then hopefully crush them. And meanwhile, rebuild my base. You don't need a fortress, per se, to win a game. Which is a good thing, because I don't have one. But I do need to stop this goblin horde coming at me. Which really... I'm going to lose a expensive catapult, which is unfortunate. And my army is way out of position. I'm going to have to run. I didn't build a full wall, as you see. I left a little space to go out. Just kind of a... I wasn't trying to go full cheese with the whole wall thing. Also, that mineshaft was probably blocking the thing because of the range of the wall upgrade. But I do have a hole. I also have a hole right there as well. Somebody knocked a hole in it. Probably where the cave trolls entered. Probably knocked a hole in the wall real quick. And just ran in there. So I'm not actually in the best position here, if you think about it. I've lost my fortress, I've lost my siege works, I've lost some farms. And I don't have the biggest army ever. And I'm having to deal with goblins that can climb walls, as well as half-troll marauders, which are just pretty generally strong. So he could actually kill me here, if he was clever enough. Which he very well might be. I guess we'll see about that. There goes another building of mine. I think I was building a fortress, but I decided not to, because it would just get taken down immediately. And that would be a waste of time. As you see, he doesn't see my building up here, which is good for me. But he will kill everything else. My only hope of winning, probably, is having Isengard attack goblins to put a stop to this assault I'm having to deal with. If that doesn't happen, I may die. And as you can see, I'm losing a lot of things here. Let's look at the power points here real quick. Long Con managed to get 2 5 powers, and he has 6 remaining. I don't have a fortress, but I do have Rebuild, Dwarven Riches, and Heal, and 5 remaining, which is pretty good. And then we have Summon Wildman and Cape Bats as well, 13 power points. So he's doing pretty well as well on power points. And he's gaining more and more because he keeps destroying my things, because I'm not destroying them myself. Which is not the best play. But he did not see this. And where's my builder? Ah. I actually unload my builders here, destroy this little wall to get back in. Even though I could have just went back through my tunnel. But clever, nonetheless. Sure. So yeah, Isengard's looking a little fierce now. He's probably got all his upgrades. Yep, definitely. He doesn't have them equipped though. As you see, there is no red spears or nice shiny armor on these guys yet. I'm sure he has the money. No, he doesn't actually have the money.
That's right. I'm back, and somebody's gonna pay.
Apparently Sharku died at some point, and he is back now. Somebody is going to pay. Ooh, if there's an explosive mine, those are always fun. Unless they're used on you. Then maybe not so much. But yes, the goblins do have... He doesn't have forged blades yet, oddly enough. He does have the money for it. He possibly is saving for something else, I'm not sure. Maybe... No. Maybe not. Don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's just upgrading his troops that he has currently. But I would like to see Isengard attack the top left. Hopefully not me. If Isengard attacks me, I'll definitely die. If Gloin gets level 10, I will have a better chance of living through all these attacks. With his Shatterhammer. Quite strong move. He is level 6 though, he's not even close. That's unfortunate. There we go, we got some upgraded wargs. With the heavy armor and the sword upgrade. Nice shiny red swords. I like how far in you can zoom in. Oh god. That's the sound of Drogoth, I believe. That's where he was saving his money for. Well, I'm guessing he bought that beforehand. But that's going to be a big problem for me, because as you can see, I don't have any ranged troops at all. So I don't know what I could do here. Sounds like, I know Longcon heard that though. Because when Drogoth comes out, everyone hears it. And he does have quite a few archers here. So hopefully he'll be able to deal with the dragon. Because I certainly won't be able to. Drogoth, when you can use him right and you can actually manage to get him, he is very powerful. Especially if you get him up to later levels. Incinerate is insane. And so is Firefly. It's pretty strong as well. And then his Fireball is pretty badass too. Not a huge fan of his level 3 Wing Blast. It is actually pretty bad. It used to be better in patch 1.00. It would knock guys down under him instead of just doing damage, which was more useful, I feel. Because you could stand above the guys and knock them down while your army came in and did stuff. It was quite nice. Ooh, that's gonna cost him. Lots of Urukai crossbows dying to these spider riders. That's unfortunate to see because I was hoping he would kill Drogoth. But he will probably kill the fort with this many amount of mines if they get through. Because the fire arrow upgrade on this fortress will kill it himself. So that will be entertaining if that happens. I hope it does. And he war chances mines. Well, the dragon doesn't actually do enough damage to kill those. That's interesting. Oh, that sucks. But that did kill Drogoth. The mine explosion killed the dragon, which is odd. Because he's in the air, but it still managed to do it. Too bad it didn't get too close enough. Because he would have been able to kill off the fortress easily. Looks like he is planning on sending more mines at him, so that's good. Meanwhile, I have rebuilt my fortress and my archery range, and I do have a mine shaft with my dwarven merchants on it. So I'm starting to get back in the game. Looks like I'm building a secondary wall. I normally wouldn't build two layers of walls. My justification for this is not a complete wall, it's just more like a buffer. So if I do build a full wall back here, this isn't really a wall, you can just go around it, you know? So that's how I justify myself, and I feel alright with that. Because I know that's what I'm going to do. But some goblins have managed to get into the Isengard base here, so he will have an issue to deal with. There is a mine placed on the ground, as you see, right there. Possibly a defensive mine. I don't see anything he has to trigger it though. If he had Saruman, he could shoot with a fireball, or a crossbowman would be able to deal with that as well. But he is losing a lot of structures to this goblin invasion. And if I was a timely dwarf, which I'm not, because I'm sitting back doing nothing, just trying to build back up so I don't die, then I would attack the goblins now. Still, without the siege weapon, I don't have the ability to make catapults at the moment, and without that I won't get very far. As you see, Gorkill takes a lot of arrow damage, so running him through the arrow tower is not a good idea. Heroes in general just take a lot of arrow damage from like arrow towers on fortresses. Sounds like Drogoth is back in the action. Unfortunate for everyone involved, except the goblins. And no one has any crossbows anymore, or archers. I don't have any. I'm working on getting Men of Dale, so that is good news, but I don't have the means to actually do it yet. So if he comes to attack me, which doesn't look like he is mad at Isengard for trying to blow up his base, and rightfully so. I couldn't blame him for that. He's going to attack Isengard again, which is good news for me. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the bottom right clear and expand there as well. I recommend always trying to expand your mine shafts or farms or whatever if you ever can, because the more command points, the more money you get, etc. It's always a good thing. You just got to be careful not to let the enemy kill too many of them, so you give them power points and levels on their heroes, etc. Nobody wants that. I would like to see Sharku get Man-Eater, but probably won't happen. And there you see the Devastation, right? I almost forgot the name of it again. Devastation being used there to freeze this army and also take some trees to give them lots of money. If Drogoth gets anywhere near this fortress, he's going down, so I kind of hope it happens. But he is smart and pulls back his guy. Wonkan does get a Saruman though. Saruman's very good. And that is a good choice for him. As you can see, does enough damage to kill majority of half trolls. And I feel like I need to attack the goblins like really badly. I did capture the signal fire. I do have more troops, a little bit. I only have 3 battalions and then 2 heroes, which isn't actually that much. 4 battalions, excuse me. I'm building more, which is good news. I'm probably just really working towards fire arrows because Drogoth will destroy me if I don't have them, and nobody wants that. Nobody, even the goblins. So Isengard's got a little rebuilding to do, as you might imagine. After being assaulted, things get broken and you must fix them. I also do have control of the outpost now, which means I will be getting the money. More money for me equals more profit. More troops, more armor upgrades, more weapons, etc. Everything good. And I have a feeling this is going to go longer than I thought it was, because of my defensive nature here. So, I may have to record the rest of this later, but you won't notice that because I will just cut it together in post, and it will be like one video, because that's the magic of video editing. Yay! And upgraded Goblin Warriors. One of my least favorite things ever. Just because it seems like such a big waste. The cost is retarded. It's 500 to upgrade a unit that cost 75 and aren't very good. So it seems like a silly waste of money. But it's better than not upgrading them, I guess. If you have the money, you might as well do it, right? It makes sense. Personally, since they are 40 command points, half trolls are 64. You get less, but I would just go straight up half trolls at that point. An old strat I used to use on the Xbox was half trolls, spider riders, and that's it. I didn't build trolls, I didn't build giants, none of that garbage. Well, I guess you build gore kill as well, but that always worked. Also, it was a little broken back in 1.00, as they were not as expensive, the half trolls. They were, I think they were the same price. Maybe they were 450, but they were like command points 48 or something. So you could get tons of half troll marauders for whatever reason. But they were more strong than these guys who costed 60. Patch 1.00 has a lot of stupid things to it like that. Makes no sense whatsoever. So I do like this patch for some of the changes it makes, like that one. And there's my army getting decimated. Completely destroyed by Drogoth. I do have some axe throwers, which can't actually get out. And I do have some Menadale as well. It'll be difficult for... Oh, there's Menadale there. Nice. So I do have some defense against Drogoth now. But I do need to put some... oops. I tried to unload myself. I do have a full army in there. Looks like I tried to save guys from Drogoth from dying. And Drogoth retreats because his army is on fire. Also, we have a Wormtongue. Wormtongue is a lot of fun. I think Wormtongue can take control of Drogoth, if I'm not mistaken, with Corrode Allegiance. He can take control of a Balrog. I'm assuming he can control a dragon. But he does need some levels for that. And yeah. Now, Isengard doesn't have much in the way of an army. He did lose his Saruman, which isn't ideal for him. Also, it looks like he's command point locked. He can no longer build troops, which is not good. Probably because he's confined to a small corner, and he's trying to get the most money out of his farms as possible. If he really needed it, he could cram a lot of farms in here, but that would destroy his income. Yeah, it looks like he's going to have to do that because he can't really build outside with keeping it safe. It'll be difficult to do. And yeah, I am healing up my army here. These healing wells are amazing once your armies get down to a few guys or are very wounded. Set them up hearth or a healing well or whatever, Mirror Galadriel, and they will restore their unit count and their health, which is good. Good stuff. So I utilize these quite often, as you'll see in my games. I do like them quite a bit. And I do have a pretty good defensive situation going. My fort is pretty safe back here, unless Isengard gets the dragon strike. That will probably take out my fortress because it's overpowered. But hopefully that doesn't happen, right? I suppose if I had enough archers and archer towers and stuff, it might be able to kill it beforehand, before it happens, but it's so close to the edge of the map, I think it would just literally come off right here, burn, and then die or fly off or whatever. And I'm building another inner ring of wall. Not a full inner ring, this is what I do when I play defensive. I build in a line, and then I will put a catapult here, catapult here, catapult here, catapult here, And then they will be able to cover the gates and the walls without being too close to them to get attacked. So if there's troops attacking right here, the catapult will be able to fire to here. It's a useful tactic, I feel, if you're playing with walls. And here you see I'm being attacked by Warg Riders, which is quite annoying. I'm not a fan of that. And he's trying to level up Sharku, probably. Which I would too. This is a good way to get power points and get levels. Go around destroying farms with Sharku and some Warg Riders. Seems he's keen on taking the signal fire from me as well. So I'm not quite sure who is winning, technically, in this game. I'm definitely... I actually might be considered winning at this point, because I managed to build up my army back stronger than before. My defenses are stronger than before. And I probably now have the power to win this game, if played correctly. But we'll see about that. So, let's see what's going on over here. We got some... 3 giants, actually. Those may be very useful for taking down Isengard's fortress, if he can get him in position without dying. One can only hope. Right, so now we will see if the goblins have what it takes to defeat Isengard. But I may be attacking him soon. Looks like I'm prepared for an assault. And that is quite... Oh, never mind. There's a watcher coming out. That will definitely disrupt my attack, as you might imagine. That's going to kick the crap out of my army, as well as summoning wildmen on top of my archers, which is never a good thing for me. It's going to make dealing with Drogoth extremely difficult as well. I do still have a lot of them, but they're not focusing Drogoth yet. So that could be a problem. Giving Drogoth time to kill off most of them. Kill off all these wildmen. So I did lose a sizable force here. And there you see Drogoth using Wing Blast. Doesn't actually do that much. It does still knock guys down a little bit, I guess. It doesn't do much damage though, as you see. It actually doesn't really do any, from what I can tell. So who knows? If I can get these Axors into that tower, that would be really good, because then I could have a fortified position to attack Drogoth here. And it looks like I managed to do just that. So now I can throw axes at Drogoth without being hit back. So he's probably going to run away. Yep. Meanwhile, he is assaulting Isengard's base, taking down the wall. Looks like some defensive mines are being placed. Defensive mines are dangerous. They could either be good or bad, as you might imagine, depending on how they're used. Not quite sure what the point of that cave bat was. It died pretty much instantly. Maybe he wanted to see what was going on before he went in. And I guess that would have given him a little bit of vision for a second there. Potentially. But these giants are going to do a lot of work on these walls. And now that he is going to be engaging him, that will give me time to rebuild my army. I'm going to heal up. As I said before, these hearths are very good for restoring the unit count of your troops and the health. And looks like I got my archers back already. So I will be ready to go again pretty quickly here. Sounds like there's a Balrog coming up. There is definitely a Balrog. That would be a Goblin Balrog. So, that is bad news for Uruk-hai. If he gets a flame blast on the breathe fire would take out all of these arrow towers, and that would help him quite a bit. There it goes. He will manage to get it off, killing a sizable some of the army as well. But he didn't get that much done, so that's unfortunate. But he did get most of the defense down, and as well as pretty much most of the army. Actually, this would be a good time for the giants to come in and start attacking the fortress, I think. Maybe? Maybe not, because he still has stuff. Giants aren't cheap. With this wall of minions, though, he should be able to do that. Because Saruman, yeah, Saruman and the other guys, Wormtongue even, will be able to deal with these giants pretty easily. And they didn't do that much damage, so he's not in that much trouble. Seems the ring is up here. I'm not sure if I noticed that before, but I do now. As you see, my little bastion of defense here. This is pretty hard to break, especially when you get the arrow towers to defend against flying units, and the catapults behind the wall to defend the walls itself. It can be quite a pain in the ass to break through. And I do have enough archers here, more than enough archers, to take out that Drogoth, which is good news. And I might just kill off the goblins here. He is otherwise preoccupied down here, trying to get stuff done. His Gorkill and all his goblin warriors are down there. So, I should be able to finish him off, I think. I'm using barrage with my archers to set fire to the ground underneath these towers. But honestly, archers are very good against tower attachments anyway. As you see, the barrage isn't actually doing any damage here. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Something's doing damage to the fort though. Not quite sure what. Because I don't see anyone near it. Who knows? Oh goodness, these spider riders could be devastating here. I do have a lot of archers that are undefended by pikemen. So hopefully I fix that immediately. I would like to see me kill off the goblins here. That would be good. So I'm hoping I do this correctly. Also, one error I'd like to point out. Oh, I do have 2 barracks. Okay, I was gonna say. I should have more than 1 guardian, or Hall of Guardians. Dwarven barracks, whatever. You know what it's called. And it looks like I will take out the goblins base. I do have a sizable army still here. Cloudbreak freezing his army from killing mine. And allowing me to finish off the fortress with my Gloin there. Gloin is easily the best structure destroyer in the game, I'd say. Shake Foundation and Slam are pretty good against buildings, especially Shake Foundation. And my Gloin is level 8, so once he hits level 10, he'll be able to deal with armies quite well with his Shatterhammer. Isengard is moving out a little bit. He's probably going to attack me. He might know that I'm attacking goblins, so attacking me would be a good idea. But I do have this defensive area. It'll be difficult for Isengard to break through. So I should be able to kill off the goblins before I am in any imminent danger. Do I have the Mighty Catapult? No, I don't. But I probably won't need it. It would be a good thing to get though. Also, upgrades for these Men of Dale would be good. But yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot left here. He's got... I'm not sure if this Goblin Cave really exists because I can't click on it. Yeah, it's still there. Sometimes they black out. Yeah, it's a little buggy. Let's see how Uruk-hai's doing here. Isengard. They are attempting to break the wall. He's breaking the wall hub. He does have a ballista, which helps in that that endeavor. But it will be difficult to get stuff through here. I do have pikemen and the ability to put out troops at a pretty good rate. So it's not like I'm completely undefended here. I should be just fine. Does look like it's enough to make me want to go back though. Although Gloin should be enough to destroy the rest of this, hopefully, by himself. Yeah, see, he knows he doesn't have the power to break this defensive line here. Excuse me. Sharku's almost dead. These Uruk-hai are kind of almost dead, as is Wormtongue and his ballista. Looks like Alerts probably won't make it out because of the catapult knocking him on his ass. So that's good. That's more power points for me. Looks like Gloin did get killed, unless I managed to get him away, but I think he died. Yeah, it's looking like he died. And goblins are trying to rebuild their fortress. I highly doubt I'll let that happen. I do have a sizable force already. And I'm undoubtedly rebuying my heroes. Can't really check. I did get a Mighty Catapult though. That's probably what this is here. These probably launched it at some point. So that's a good defensive thing to have. A mighty catapult's always nice to keep your base safe from invading armies. And even without a hero, I think this should be enough to finish off the goblins. I hope. He does have a decent force, but I have a lot of archers, which will just obliterate his little goblin warriors without much trouble. And I have enough defense to protect them with all these pikemen. Also got some axe throwers. Isengard's wall is still down, so I shouldn't... Once I actually do move on Isengard, I shouldn't have too much trouble getting in. Assuming that stays that way by the time I get over there. We will see. A watcher right here would be pretty bad for me. But, fortunately for me, his fortress is down and he can't use the watcher. Because that would be very, very bad. I bet, as you see, like I said, that's enough archers to put him down quite easily. So hopefully I get in here and kill him off before he builds too much more. And then I can move against Isengard, who is currently moving around with some Warg Riders. I do need to fix this hole in my base, and I see that. So, I am fixing that. That's good. And the goblin base is now up. Does he have any powers to use on me? Nope. All his good powers are actually on cooldown. He does have 15 power points, but I'm not sure what he could get with it. I don't think he can get to Worm. Not from where he is. I think he needs something else before that. Check out my power points. Oh, he did get the Worm. I lied. I'm doing alright in powers. I get Cloud Break, Men of Dale, etc. Goblins are definitely doing the best on the PowerPoint front, and Isengard definitely not doing the greatest PowerPoint front. He is making a small attack here. He's just destroying the outer layer of stuff, which isn't that big a deal to me. I could easily replace that in there if I want to. As you see, this worm is actually being used pretty well for a defensive thing. I'm losing a lot of archers and stuff to these wildmen of Dunlun as well. Wildmen are good against archers. So if you summon them in an archer line, they usually do a good job of clearing that out. And unfortunately, I won't have enough to kill him. So that sucks. And I don't seem to be making a new army. Let's see how I'm doing on money. I got 4 grand. That's not too bad. For an Isengard team, this guy is pretty poor. Hong Kong here. Isengard's usually rolling in money at this point of the game. Like more money than they could ever use. Also, they do have a forward fortress, which is kind of alarming. I do also have a building down here just in case I die, I guess. I didn't want to die, so that's probably a good idea. But the goblins have not much of anything. They have a fort and they have a building rubble, which will eventually turn back into his fissure. And then he can produce fissure units once again. And it seems he's going to destroy whatever's in the top, bottom right. No, he decides not to. I don't know if he knows there's anything there or not. I would like him to run into this Isengard army though, that would be kind of amusing. At least set him back to the point where he's not attacking me. It's like I'm managing to secure the ring as well. The ring will probably help me if I decide to build it. With my little setup here, I could just sit back, turtle, and save up for the ring hero if I wanted. Though I have nowhere near the money required, because I do have to keep buying troops and upgrading them fully, which is expensive. Isengard is assaulting my front line wall, which doesn't really matter. It has become obsolete since the beginning of the game. pretty much going to be a battle between me and Isengard at this point. Goblins are kind of out. They're not out yet, but they will be out soon. As soon as someone turns their aggression towards them. But it will be difficult to do while this is happening. And Cloud Break, good for freezing the army while you fire this mighty catapult. That didn't actually do much of anything to this ballista, which is kind of unfortunate. So keep that in mind. It's not actually good against catapults, mighty catapult. In case you're thinking of using it against them. Probably would have been better to fire on these guys here. And Saruman is going to get a lot of kills there because they've grouped up a lot of men. You don't want to do that against Saruman or Gandalf because they will just go to town on your troops and kill everything. But I am facing a pretty big siege. It's not too bad, but there's a lot of ballista fire going on, so I'm losing a lot of walls. He did send his heroes in to die, which was not the best move in his part. And he's also retreating in shield formation, making him slow, meaning I can catch him and kill his guys. I would like to see me use charge attack a little more. It's a good thing to use with your guardians. And he did take out my little secondary base that I was building in the bottom right. So that's the thing that won't be built up anymore. And now I have to rebuild my army again, which is quite unfortunate. And probably fix up my defense. It's looking a little tattered, but it did hold up pretty well, as you saw. He wasn't really able to break through. Still got all my catapults on my walls, so that's the expensive part, really. So that's a good thing for me. This isn't actually that difficult to rebuild, although I will have 2 holes in the wall, it looks like. From how I'm building this, there won't be any wall hubs here because they were destroyed. I would have to turn a wall piece into a wall hub and then connect it to another after I did the same thing to replenish that wall completely. So there will be a few gaps in the wall, which isn't that bad. It's kind of like a gate now. I mean, he's going to break through anyway. You might as well make it easy for him. That doesn't sound very logically sound, if I'm honest. But hey, who cares? Oh man, Drogoth smashing these catapults would be amazing. Or these trebuchets. Ballistas even. Those are not trebuchets or catapults. But looks like Isengard has decided to turn their aggression towards the goblins, which is good news. Hopefully he will manage to kill off the goblins, since really all his defense is consisting of is a few arrow towers and a Drogoth. Sharku probably shouldn't be up there tanking all the archer fire. At least not before the rest of the things come. As you see, flying units are the direct counter to catapults and ballista and such. Killing multiples if they are grouped together. There goes 2. Yep. So the potential siege power that he had was completely nullified by 1 dragon, which is unfortunate. And Isengard, as I've said a few times, is one of the weakest teams to take on flying units with because of their archers being complete crap and not really having much else to deal with anything. They have no other ranged hero or ranged power aside from Saruman's fireball to take on flying units other than their crossbows. So, not the greatest. Yeah, as you see, that power really just doesn't do much. The Wing Blast or whatever. I don't like Wing Blast. He does have Firefly though. That does, on the other hand. As you see here. Quite good. It's like a big fireball, really. It's a move I like quite a bit. And it looks like I'm moving out against Isengard. The best time to move against an opponent is when they are busy with another opponent. So, once these heroes are dead... Oh, fortunately he doesn't have corrode allegiance. That would be really bad. But I should be able to take out this fortress. There isn't much defending it here. And I do have Gloin, which is pretty much guaranteed. And he will hit level 10 once this happens. So that's great. Level 10 glowing, shatter hammer, ownage. That's all you need in your life. There you go, level 10 glowing. Excellent. And his attack against the goblins failed, but he has managed to keep the goblins contained somewhat. Goblins don't have a whole lot as far as anything goes, except for Drogoth. And Drogoth isn't that big of a threat to me, because I can build quite a few rangers if I wanted. And I am starting to take the bottom right over again, to keep my money going, and my command points. And I will also be taking this outpost, I'd imagine. Yep. Definitely doing that. So that's good news. So now I need to just completely overwhelm either Isengard or the goblins. Get one of them out of the game. And then crush the other one. That would be the way to do it. I think once I get Earthquake, which I am pretty far off of because I just bought Barrage, which will be useful though. These are a lot of Warg Riders. Barrage could be pretty good against that. As could summon the Watcher. If he summons, that's the wrong guy though. But he has the Watcher as well, and he has Worm, and all sorts of things actually. Goblins have a lot of powers to deal with these invading armies. So he is not completely defenseless, that's for sure. But even if he sends these Warg Riders at my base, I'm not overly worried. I do have the oil casks, I do have some army here. And I do have lots of catapults. It's like the goblins actually defended me here by blocking off these guys with the Watcher. So that's very nice of the goblins. I'm sure I'll repay him with a swift death later on. My King Nane is dropping pretty quick here, as is my glowing. Hopefully I have a heal. No, I do not. There's Alerts who's being carnaged, and also Saruman there knocking my hero down. So I will lose my heroes and my army here. But at least Long Khan's attack on my base failed because of that Watcher. Although it probably would have failed anyway, just would have taken a little more with it. And yeah, I'm trying to retreat, not gonna happen. There's no way I'm gonna get away. Especially since there's Warg Riders coming from every direction. Too bad Dwarves don't have a flying unit, right? Flying battle wagon? That'd be insane. Fireball, as you see, pretty decent damage to Drogoth. He is level 7, so he's pretty tanky, but still does an alright amount. And even War Chanted, these aren't doing enough. But he does have another battalion. So that goes down, as well as Lurtz. Lurtz was there with his bow. So this is turning into an interesting battle here. Drogoth is dead, and now potentially the only thing saving goblins from destruction is whatever powers he has. He does still have his Balrog to use. It is off cooldown from what I noticed. Yep, definitely off cooldown. The Worm and all the rest are on cooldown though. There's the Worm. So he's gonna have to be careful if he, the only defense he has now is Balrog. But I'm sure I'm not too keen on destroying the goblins off right away. I think I know I'm not too worried about them. The team I need to kill off is Isengard. As you can see, he's built a second fortress, which can be quite a pain. Would have been third if I wouldn't have took this one, but I did. I do have a lot of axe throwers here. Axe throwers are pretty good against structures, I guess. They're not terrible. They were better in 1.00, I think, against structures. They were pretty fucking strong. And there comes the Watcher. Watcher just has the power to ruin your attack completely. It's quite an annoyance. I hate when I get a Watcher summoned under my army. But it's very satisfying to use on other people. I know that for a fact, because I've used it many times. Also, it destroys little buildings on the map, which is kind of interesting. For some reason. It's very reckless. So now I'm being forced to retreat once again, heal up my army, replenish my ranks, and go in again, and again, and again. It's an endless cycle of death and destruction I am having to face here. And I'm hoping the goblins don't get to expand too much. They should be put down before too long so they can't build back up. Especially before Drogoth comes back. Let's see the goblin's money. He does have enough for a Drogoth, so I'm assuming he already bought it. So probably a cooldown, or coming off cooldown, whatever. He does summon a defensive Balrog. Probably the best use he'll have for a Balrog. He won't get much use out of it if he goes and attacks the base. If he summoned him back here, he could destroy all his farms actually and all his buildings. That probably would have been good. But if he didn't use it defensively right there, he would have died. And he can still manage to do things if he does it properly. He should be, well, obviously using Fire, Breathe Fire. But if you use Ignite and Fire Whip, you can pretty much one-shot any building, like regular building like this, or his Work Pit or whatever. But getting too close to the fortress while it's firing tons of arrows will probably end in early demise for the Balrog, which is not something you really want to happen, but it happens nonetheless. I don't have much in the way of pikemen here. I do have a lot of guardians, but guardians don't protect against warg riders, so I'd like to see a little more pikemen here. Hopefully I got my glowing back at least. I do. Level 10 glowing should make getting in here a little bit more easy. Also, he has put a mine conspicuously close to his fortress. If I see that and I fire on it with my Men of Dale, I should be able to take out a fort without even getting in there. So that would be a good thing to do. Hopefully I notice that and take advantage of that. Also, I'm bringing Catapult. Catapult is a good thing to have when you're going against walls and fortresses. Yeah, there's my only pikeman dying. Actually, they didn't even die. Drogoth has returned again as well. And he has tons of archers that Barrage should take care of most of those. It did miss a huge chunk, which is unfortunate. But I do still have a lot of my archers as well, so I should be able to kill his with mine. And the goblins are actually becoming a force again. His army isn't really strong. It consists of a lot of goblin warriors. But still, it is a threat. It will need to be dealt with. Looks like my glowing got poisoned. Probably by Worm Tongue. No? Maybe. It's off cooldown though, so I don't know. Probably need to use Shatter Hammer here, if I can. Doesn't look like I'll be able to. Which is unfortunate. It'd probably send everyone flying. But I'm getting sent flying myself by this Ahriman, making it pretty much impossible to do. Sharku did die though, to these Guardians, which is nice. Oh, actually Glenn didn't die. And he did manage to get his Shatter Hammer off. He didn't kill anyone, but it's pretty good. King Dane is also here. He will make short work of these ballista. And Lurtz will probably die to these archers, because there's not much he can do. I should really finish him off. No. Looks like I'm deciding to retreat and heal up again. I guess that's a smart move. But as you see, Goblin's fortress is gone. I'm assuming all this fire resulted in a nasty little dragon strike, taking out the Goblin's fort. So that sucks for the Goblins. That's no lie. That will put them at a very severe disadvantage. He's lucky he still has his builder. I guess he has a couple builders. That's good. So he's not out yet. But without a fortress, he cannot use his defensive powers. Keep that in mind. So anyone who attacks the goblins right now and can kill Drogoth will probably win. Unfortunately for me, my army is in tatters, and Isengard is rebuilding his army as well. But both of his heroes are very low. They'll probably die to that goblin horde. That wouldn't be good. But there is Warg Riders to take care of those goblins. So I don't think that will happen. And this is going to leave the goblins in a particularly odd spot once their army dies, but it looks like they might actually win this because the wargs decide to fight instead of trample, which is a mistake there. Probably not the best use of the Warg Riders. That's going to leave him a little vulnerable. Definitely his ballistas got a little too close, as you see there. But he still can put out more troops, and he does have 2 fortresses, so he's not going to die. Not the goblin hordes, at least. So I'm sure he'll be just fine. But his fortress is rebuilding again, as you see. He's got a couple of things that will rebuild over time as well. And meanwhile, I am building quite the army back there, and then my little hidey hole. And it looks like all those goblins are now dead, thanks to Saruman probably, and some crossbows. So that's unfortunate for the goblin player. He's going to have to make a whole new horde of goblins out of his 1 goblin cave instead of multiple goblin caves. But these are rebuilding now. But once again, it looks like Isengard decides to switch it up and attack me, which is probably a good idea. You don't want to let the dwarves build up too much. Goblins aren't a huge threat. The goblins are just kind of there. Their army isn't really great, aside from Drogoth. But his powers are what's keeping him alive, really. Powers and Drogoth together, making it quite hard to finish him. But hopefully someday, somebody will die in this game. And then the game may end. This is going to drag on for quite a while because of things like this. I can't count how many times I've been hit by the Watcher. And it's just completely destroys your army. Look at that. I managed to save a lot of guys, but still I lost pretty much most of it. So that's not good for me at all. But with any luck, Isengard will decide not to attack my walls and decide to attack goblins instead. That would be good. And he probably should do that, because goblins are an immediate threat. This mine, every time I see it, I think, how this is not a good placement for a mine. This is a little better, you know. This is way too close to your fort. This will take your fort out if it gets destroyed, so I don't see the purpose of that mine, per se. I guess we'll see what happens when that comes into play. At some point. Hopefully it will. I wonder if barrage triggers mines. I'm not too sure about that. But if it does, then that would be very bad for Longcod. That is a goblin worm, it looks like. It's going to kill Wormtongue, and not going to kill Wormtongue. The goblins will, though. And all Isengard's heroes are now dead. And Drogoth will finish off the stragglers without much trouble. Oh. Sounds like I have managed to actually build Galadriel. That could be a game changer right there. Having the time and the resources to sit back and build up and build Galadriel, that might help me win the game there. And as you can see, I do have quite the army as well. I got lots of guys here. Looks like I'm deciding to start with the goblins, which is good. I don't think it'll take too long to kill off Isengard. It's just a matter of finishing off the goblin team first. And quickly dispatching cave bats, so that will be a good thing when I decide to attack. That won't be a factor. He's building another fortress. Probably want to go in before that's up. Although I don't have any siege weapons, which is kind of an issue. I'm probably command point capped as well, so that's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to lose a bunch of my archers and such to Warg Riders, but that's not the end of the world. And another Watcher coming up. I hate having so many enemy teams where there's just endless Watchers. It's like Galadriel's trying to dispense some justice to the Watcher. The Kung Fu down in there. I like how the Watcher eats. And oddly enough, you actually still get the money for it if you're... I think this is the Goblins. So the Goblins, the Scavenger still works with the Watcher eating its troops. Which is interesting. There's a lot of interesting little quirks. Well, I didn't lose too much of my army, thankfully. I do need some pikemen though, I think. My army almost consists entirely of heroes and axe throwers and archers, which is a strange combo. But Drogoth doesn't stand a chance. And here I'm summoning the Men of Dale to try and keep him from getting away. And that should do the trick. Although it seems kind of like a waste. I should at least capture the signal fire. Also, let's see how close I am to actually getting Earthquake. I need it's 25, right? Yeah, I need 9 more power points. Jeez, my math skills completely failing me there. Not that I have any math skills to begin with. Whatever. Looks like some wildmen have been summoned in the back of my army. Hopefully I would be able to kill off that pretty quickly, or else I will lose a lot of guys there. But I do want to target Drogoth immediately. But Drogoth, seems that Drogoth will go down. Yep. And I have summoned the tornado on one of his fortresses. That's what you want to do generally with a Galadriel's tornado, because it can just sit on the fortress and whittle it down. Looks like I managed to save a lot of my troops before walking them through fire. But those were the summoned wildmen, or summoned Dunland, not Dunland, Men of Dale, excuse me. Oh, some barrage is coming down. We'll finish off any defenses he has left. And this should be it for the Goblin team. Unless he has another Watcher. Let's hope not. Nope, all his good powers are on cooldown, thank goodness. So I should be able to finish off the Goblins here. And then it will just be me and Isengard. Another hour will go by. Yeah, it probably won't take that long, but you never know. Sorry this one's so long. I don't know how long these replays are when I go into them. But this one's not a bad one, so I want to finish it off. You can always fast forward. That's the beauty of YouTube. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can skip through some. But if you do enjoy watching it, like I do somewhat, then you will watch it. And that is the last building, and Anam has been defeated. After so long. And I do have Galadriel still, so I should be able to have an advantage here. I have quite the fortress. He even Dragon Striked my area, but as you see, my fortress has survived, surprisingly enough. So that's kind of shocking. And I do still have quite the army. And I use the what's it called? Daylight? That's not what it's called. What is it called? Cloudbreak, of course. I do also have Earthquake. So, when the time comes, a nice little Earthquake probably like right here should do the job, getting rid of most of this. And if I see this mine, that should make quick work of that fortress, I'd imagine. I do have Men of Dale to trigger that with the fire arrows. He is going for an attack. Whether I just plain attack him or decide to defend is, we'll see. I probably don't actually need to attack him, if I'm honest. I don't have any tunnels down here, so I have no way to escape. But I do still have my defenses, and I don't think he can actually get through this hole. I mean, it doesn't look that... It looks big enough to get through, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, exactly. Earthquake going down, doing a massive amount of damage. I also have the Gloin. Shake Foundation is getting there. So I should have enough to take down his fort without much trouble. Also have Gimli taking care of any stragglers. Now, he has managed to get into my base. Fortunately I do have the oil cast, but that doesn't look like it's going to be enough to kill off the wildmen. So, it's basically a base race at this point. And it's looking like I might win that base race. Because he only has this. I think I see that mine. It's like I'm moving my troops back so I can shoot the mine. Yep, here it goes. Told you, too close. You put it too close. So I won the base race. Thank goodness. So yeah, once the goblins died off, it was pretty quick. Whew, that was a long one. So I hope you enjoyed that game. I know it's a bit long, but like I said, fast forward if you're having a problem with that. And yeah, I will see you in the next game.